this news. I am Babla Jonathan. We'll be broadcasting from Cameroon's economic capital, dwelling our top stories in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Insecurity on the rise in Betwa in the east region of the Republic of Cameroon. Local council authorities and forces of law and order are stepping up action to turn down the security threats to the life of inhabitants of that part of the Republic of Cameroon. In Tiko, in the southwest region, inhabitants took to the streets today protesting in front of the office of the electricity production company Eneo over poor electric energy supply. Those were our top stories. Inhabitants of Betwa in the east region of the Republic of Cameroon are raising concerns, worries over the deteriorating security situation in that part of the Republic of Cameroon. Insecurity is said to be on the rise, and local council authorities and forces of law and order are now stepping up efforts to turn down this threat. Details in this report compiled by Equinoxe.
The population of Betwa say the town has been invaded by aggressors. The other day at the motor park, two men on board a motorcycle snatched my colleague's phone and drove off. It is a very common act here. This woman says the handbags have suffered from this snatching phenomenon. Bombs have reportedly invaded the motorbike sector, causing havoc, with the blame laid on professional motorbike riders who are also victims. As action to curb this strong wave of insecurity that has been reigning for long in the town, the Betwa City Council constructed and equipped 5 police posts around major junctions and in quarters where the crime wave is alarming.
Une police de proximité.
Jean-Marie Zimbele, the city mayor, stresses this measure is very important at this moment. These police posts are situated at Carrefour-Emia, Sinajes, Kogulota, and opposite the Betwa Regional Hospital. Construction of these police posts here gladdens my heart because we will be able to move about freely and peacefully.
Je crois que la présence des forces de l'ordre ici aujourd'hui est assez dissuasive.
Une ville moderne, une ville futuriste.
While hoping the population work in collaboration with the security forces, the Betwa City Council hopes to construct at least 15 more police posts by 2025.
Inadequate electric energy supply sends the population to the streets in the Republic of Cameroon again. Inhabitants of Tiko in the southwest region of the country went protesting in front of the electricity production company Eneo over poor electric energy supply in that part of the country. Details in this report compiled by our southwest correspondent, Derry Jato.
Tiko population took to the street. They say they have gone for months without electricity. Reason why this unsatisfied population of Tiko subdivision in Fako division of the southwest region of Cameroon decided to electrify the office of the electricity company Eneo with their protest and switch on their grievances with their messages they brought to shine for all to see. Foodstuff in our fridges are all bad. We want light, they sang. The GCE will soon start, and our children need to read. We want light, they continue. We have been left in the dark for too long. We want light, they chant as they dance round the office of Eneo Tiko subdivision. Minutes later, an authority from the said company came out.
When they say transformer don't actually just go pick up, so you put them, can't put them for day. You go for send documents, they violate and do so, they do so.
You know the transformer issue needs time and a lot of paperwork. He begged them. But I assure you people that power will be reinstated today, he told the protesting population.
We will not do everything possible today so we not get light.
And at press time, there was some calmness, as everyone here was in the wait to see if words will be matched with action before sunset in Tico subdivision.
Before 6 o'clock, we see.
And the slow pace of road construction works in Baturi in the east region of the Republic of Cameroon is today highlighted as one of the causes of the increase of prices of construction materials, not only in the east region but also in other parts of the country. And the population are complaining over the slow pace of the construction of the major road in that part of the country. And of course, this project was supposed to last for 1 year, but it has taken more than 1 year. It is still not completed till now. The Minister of Urban Development and Housing says that everything will be done. Financial resources will be made available for the completion of that project. Details with Immaculate Fogbe.
The recent rise in the prices of construction materials is impeding the evolution of the Baturi Road project in the east region of Cameroon. On several occasions, contractors have been forced to stop work due to the lack of means. The key components used for the construction of roads are very expensive. A bag of cement, which used to be sold for 4,900 francs, now costs 7,000 francs. Same as petrol. We spent 3 days without fuel in the town. Reason why we stay for close to a week without working. But we will try our best to get all the requirements from Yaoundé. Elites and the local population say the completion of such a project will enhance the development of the area. There is a common adage that says where a road passes, development follows. The population will be very happy if the project is completed. During an evaluation visit on the site championed by the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Celestine Kecha-Kutes, she reassured the population that measures have been taken to ensure that construction work goes on smoothly. The project that started in August 2021 and expected to last 12 months will need more time for it to be realized due to the aforementioned challenges.
Here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, city dwellers have been complaining about the circulation of heavy-duty trucks in the town all throughout the day, and this has been causing traffic jam, accidents, and even the death of some commuters who are trapped under falling containers from heavy-duty trucks. And the senior division officer of the Wuri division had taken a decision restricting the circulation of heavy-duty trucks across the town within a given period of the day, but this has not been respected by transporters. Now they are meeting the senior divisional officer and other administrative authorities and city council officials and the transporters to discuss on how to reach a point of compromise to promote economic activities while saving human lives or ensuring that human lives are not taken away because of economic activities. Take a listen to the senior divisional officer of the Wuri division, Benjamin Butu, and an official of the city council.
Circulate with responsibility. It is better that we can circulate, but you can preserve human life. And if we go in this roads, I think that we can promote our activities, development activities, and also to protect the human life. They tell me that we have the port in our country, in our town, and it is not easy that transport can wait the hours we have to fix.
The heavy trucks move at the speed which is not regulated, because there's a regulated speed in the city. They go above 60 kilometers an hour, and now they park along the highway. They have lots of breakdown because these are old vehicles, used vehicles that are being used for this project. So we are urging the economic promoters to use vehicles that are meant to ply the roads. But unfortunately, we see that despite the roadworthiness certificate that they do brandish, the vehicles break down in the middle of the road. And as a result of all of that, they do cause road congestion, and they do cause a lot of accidents. This is what we have to brainstorm and come out with binding resolution guidelines that will permit us to forge ahead. So I wish to say that the decision is not up-down, it's from down up. Together, we come out with binding resolutions. This is a forum whereby the Douala City Council, the transporters, the senior DO wish to get together and brainstorm the causes of the accident on our major highway, the mode, the way that we can facilitate movement on these major highways. By so doing, we have the statistics from the Department of the Forces of Law that says that we have more than 200 cases of accident that result to death. That's to say that we have at least 2 cases of death on the highway, which is too much for us. So we are coming together not to blame any sector, but to diagnose the cause of this problem and come out with a resolution that will be binding on the sector. We are not here to destroy the sector, but to improve on the livelihood of the citizens of Douala.
Basic education stakeholders in the Republic of Cameroon are fine-tuning strategies to enhance the teaching and learning process and consequently the performance of pupils. Coming from the 10 regions of the Republic of Cameroon, they have converged on the country's economic capital, Douala, to discuss on how to right the wrongs and encourage good practices. Malabori reports.
Challenges through poor understanding of the pedagogic approach being implemented in Cameroon to infrastructural setbacks, the teaching and learning process is punctured by several obstacles.
In the Southwest region, with the ongoing crisis, some areas are difficult to reach. Some teachers are discouraged and they are not very active. They are not working the way we expect them to work. They are slow in picking up with new trends in pedagogy.
We are implementing the new curricula, and the concepts and the orientations may not be quickly grasped by all at the same time, because everybody is not always at the same level. The issue of distance learning. It is true we all have phones, but how many of us can use those phones to carry out pedagogic activities and research?
On a tendance à négliger la place qu'on appelle la CIL.
Another problem highlighted by these educationists is the tendency to neglect the foundation of the educational ladder. Thus, some pupils move through the ladder right up to class 6 without knowing how to read and write properly.
Our minister, in our last midterm evaluation, identified that we have a disjoint between end of course performances and international evaluations on our learners.
This is why education officials in charge of supervising strategies and instructions are meeting in Douala. They are evaluating implementation on the ground.
We are evaluating how we've been teaching. We are evaluating how we've been accompanying our teachers on the field on teacher training. We are evaluating on how we are carrying out our overall pedagogic activities. And above all, we want to be able to meet up with the challenges of this time, distance education. We need to identify where we are not doing well and see how to improve. And where we are doing well, we encourage in order to continue to ameliorate and to create stronger communities of practice and share good practices so that we'll be able to continue moving forward in a positive way.
The basic education officials and experts are working to develop practical tools that will enhance the training and evaluation of teachers in a bid to guarantee and step up the performance of pupils.
Speaking to the Press, the Inspector General of Education at the Ministry of Basic Education of the Republic of Cameroon, Professor Ademajong Justina Njika, emphasized on the role of parents and the society as a whole in this success, or better still, the academic success of children. Take a listen.
And the entire community seem to think that there's a magic wand in school. Yes, there may be, but what is also clear is that it starts from the home. It starts from the home. A child who comes from a home where the parents keep quarreling, where the parents don't bother to find out what the child does when he comes back from school, where the child is left on his own, will have challenges in school. In other words, for a child to be able to read and write, there are so many variables that come into play. It is true the teacher is there as the main person to help the child to be able to read and write. But then, we must be able to, as parents, as the entire community, be able to support the activities of the child. And the claim that children really don't know how to read and write, the majority of our learners, as we all know, are able to do that. It is true that the few that are not able to do that, we overstretch and use that as a yardstick. If you want to find out our children who leave Cameroon, for example, and go abroad, they excel, they perform very well. So we will encourage the parents at home, the entire educational community, and the peers to continue supporting our children. Of course, if a child is wayward, the root cause might certainly be from the home.
The Inspector General of Education at the Ministry of Basic Education of the Republic of Cameroon speaking there now. Coming up, UNESCO approves 8 new global geoparks, destinations that balance conservation with tourism. Courtesy Orange.
Monetary value, there's a lot of it as well linked to the identity, and sometimes people are discovering again and recognizing again how connected they actually are with their landscape through the geoparks.
The Indomitable Lions of Cameroon will play in Group C of the qualifiers for the Africa Cup of Nations 2023. The draws after the draw last Tuesday, matches are expected to begin in June. And in the following reports, Manjikan Gabriel says that some newcomers will likely be present in Ivory Coast next year. His report.
Of Cameroon during the qualifier Cup of Nations Ivory Coast 2023. Cameroon, lodged in Group C of the competition, has as opponents Kenya, ranked 104 in the latest FIFA classification, Namibia, ranked 112 in the latest FIFA classification, and Burundi, ranked 139 in the latest FIFA rankings. Teams whose position in African football is insignificant as compared to Cameroon, who will be participating in their 7th FIFA World Cup tournament later this year. Kenya, one of Cameroon's opponents during the qualifiers, has been suspended by FIFA due to government interference in football. Except FIFA withdraws that statement before the start of the qualifiers, the group of Cameroon will be left with just 3. The draw that was done in Ivory Coast Tuesday will, however, serve as an opportunity for some countries to make a comeback to continental football. After 23 years of absence, Liberia is entering the qualifiers with an intention to qualify. The last time they played in an AFCON was during the 2000 edition. 5 teams, Comoros, the Gambia, Malawi, Ethiopia and Botswana will be looking to make their second appearance in the AFCON if they make it out of their different groups at the end of the qualifiers. Meanwhile, countries like Eswatini, Sao Tome and Principe, Lesotho, South Sudan and Central African Republic will be looking forward in qualifying for the first time to play in an Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Since their appearance in the 2010 AFCON, the members of Mozambique have never shown their face again in an AFCON, but are surely looking to make their comeback in 2023. The Democratic Republic of Congo, South Africa and Uganda, who missed in the last AFCON, will be struggling to return to the Continental Showpiece event next year. Amongst the countries to participate in the qualifiers, only 3 countries, Senegal, Egypt and Ivory Coast, have reached the AFCON final 2 times in the past 10 years. A total of 48 countries were shared in 12 groups and will be tussling for the 23 places left, with the exception of Ivory Coast, which has already qualified as host nation. According to the Confederation of African Football, CAF, 2 countries are expected to qualify from each group. The 33rd edition of the AFCON will be hosted by Ivory Coast in 2023, even though it is alleged it might be pushed to 2024.
Only in case the host finish first will the second place team qualify.
Smanjik and Gabriel ending the first part of this newscast. Talking Point is up next. Nicolas Ngo Santo joins us from the United States of America, and we're going to be discussing peace. Dr. Nick, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babylon Jonathan. Thank you very much, viewers. It's a pleasure again joining Equinoxe Television from the United States of America.
You're a peace advocate, a peace crusader, and together with other Cameroonians, you put up a peace initiative, an initiative to restore peace or to contribute in efforts to restore peace and normalcy in your home country, and particularly in the northwest and southwest regions of the country hit by socio-political and security tensions for close to 6 years today. How far have you gone with that initiative?
Yes, Mr. Babila and fellow viewers, it's been frustrating. It's been frustrating because our initiative has not seen the light of day for almost 6 years that we are in this conflict. And the reasons for not seeing the light of day is because the both parties are at dagger-drawn end, which means that both parties are making a lot of benefits from the loss of lives. It's a pity and it's quite shocking that those who go around drumming for peace are ironically the people who don't want peace or are the obstacles for peace. We began with the Peace Task Force initiative, which is as old as 3 years today. Then we moved to the Peace Patriots and also the Ghana Peace Conference. All these projects, all the objectives of these projects have not seen the light of day, although we have made some significant progress. The only significant progress we made was that we tried to convince some separatists to shift their positions to that of working within a one Cameroon, which is a system that we took into the Grand National Dialogue and came out with results that were not acceptable by the separatists, the hardcore separatists. Then the hardcore separatists also were able to rethink their steps and came up with the Commission for Dialogue and Negotiation that met in Canada, that came out with resolutions, and these resolutions were adopted by professionals who are apolitical, people like us who help other nations, other countries of the world to advise on peace and other decision making. But the government of Cameroon, and especially those who are making profits out of this human loss, are seeming to be understandable, or they don't want to accept some of the proposals that are on the table. Because the deadlock here, Mr. Babila, is that the government of Cameroon will want a discussion with the separatists only within the territory of Cameroon, whereas the territory of Cameroon as the separatist whole is unsafe for them to partake in any discussions. So there we are in a dilemma, because we proposed Ghana, with the Ghana project that we brought up has not been endorsed by the government. You know, the government is the key stakeholder of this crisis, that for any project to make advance means the government must endorse the project. So for now, we are left on the wings and caprices of nature to see what direction the wind will blow us. Thank you.
Before what you just said now, what did you do? What have you been able to do so far? You said a while ago that you've made some progress. What have you been able to do all this while?
The only significant progress we made was that there were some members who were key actors of the separatist movement who decided to listen to our call by the Peace Task Force Initiative and the Peace Patriots, by which they now changed their stand, which was for all right independence, to the fact that they are willing to discuss the issue of living together. And some of them resigned from social media activism, resigned from participating with the other hardliners in buying bullets and guns. They decided to say, no, we are pulling out to follow this movement, which is for peace. So unfortunately, whereas they have decided to give in their all by waiting patiently to see if the government of Cameroon is going to endorse one of these projects, which is the Commission for Dialogue and Negotiation or the Ghana Peace Conference, the Cameroon government has seemed not to have endorsed any of them, because it's now like an irony or a jigsaw puzzle that when the Cameroon government is preaching about peace, it seems as if the peace is not coming from the heart. Because if they are honestly for peace, they would have embraced one of these projects that have been in the timeline to see how they work out things. If it fails, if it does fail, before they should conclude that there is no headway to peace. And then, before I came to this program today, Mr. Babila, I have thrown a poll on the various peace initiative groups and peace talks groups in the WhatsApp forums to ask or to request from my participants to give me proposals. What can be done at this level for us to attain peace? Some of them said that the government has not been sincere. When the Prime Minister went to Bamenda, he spoke about the Bamenda Road, the Babaju Road. None of this has started. Work has not yet started there. The DDRs, which was sent to, which was some sort of a place whereby the separatists could drop arms and move into. Some are very shocked to hear that some are being killed. Some of the separatist generals that resigned from the separatists and surrendered, like Nyambere and others, have come out lamenting that they have not had a good experience with what they embraced as new ideology, and have come against to started crying foul. So it means that the little peace that we have worked to achieve within this time, or the little conversion that we have done all this while, seems to be relapsing, as what we have achieved now is retrogressing, or people who had previously changed their stand seem to be going back to the amber side, or seem to be going back to the separatist side. So you see, we are moving backward. We are retrogressing in the peace than progressing.
Apart from the Ghana Peace Conference, what are the other proposals that you've given to the government of Cameroon? And have you written to the presidency of the Republic?
We have written a lot of letters. We have had discussions with them. We have met with a lot of authorities, both in the United States, before and after, during the Grand National Dialogue. We have said that an inclusive dialogue with the people who are funding everything on the ground, on a neutral territory, seems to be the best way forward if we have to live together.
Right, and those proposals were rejected. Did you receive any feedback? Did you receive reasons? Were you told why the proposals are still in the drawers till today?
Mr. Babila, I will tell you that most of the proposals that we send to the high offices usually end with those mediators who are sent to us, who collect the proposals, twist it or change the names on it, and execute it their own styles, because it seems as if most of them happen to have their own henchmen on the ground whom they want things to go their own way. So at the end of the day, you doubt whether the letters that are addressed ever reach the hands of those that the letters are intended to reach, because most of what we see as feedback is that they come back and create parallel groups When you create the Peace Task Force Initiative, they will create a Peace Revolutionary High Council. When you create the Peace Patriots, they will create something else. So it's like duplicating what we come up with and putting only their own henchmen to stand at the forefront of it, so that whatever budget has been allocated for that peace project should be stifled. That is the kind of people that have been heading the peace negotiation for Mr. Biya, until the time that Mr. Biya will open his eyes and go down to the field to talk with people, and even those in the diaspora face to face. He will know that all over what he has been saying, all over what he has been doing, whatever he has been disbursing has not reached the quarters. Even the separatists have not had any direct contact with the presidency of the republic, even the prime minister's office. It's a shame, I should say.
Earlier you said many of the people who are preaching peace, like you, and claiming to be peace advocates, peace crusaders, do not actually want peace. Why do you think that some of the government members, some of the people in the country and out of the country who are preaching peace do not want peace? What makes you think so?
Okay, I will just come to a simple example within the United States of America. I happen to have put in my candidature to run as the CPGM section president for the United States of America. And the premise under which my campaign was built on was a return to normalcy in the English-speaking region, because having known the actors, the frontline actors, and having worked with them in this revolution, I knew how I was supposed to contact the grassroots to try and convince them about peace. Unfortunately, the members of the Central Committee that were discharged to the United States decided to frustrate my candidature, and I ended up not being a candidate because I was running on the premise of genuine peace. Instead, they prefer to take a candidate who will continue the same authoritarian style and will continue to preach peace in their own description of peace, which means that peace within the membership of the party, not inclusive peace with those who are actually in conflict. So the issue is, most of the people who have been sent at the helm of, from those who drafted the Grand National Dialogue, the terms, and those who drafted the Bilingualism Commission, to those who drafted whatever came out as special status, they represented their interest that represented the interest of the people. For example, most of these people who even draft most of these documents are not people from the Northwest, genuinely from the Northwest zone. There are people who have background of origin from Western Province, but who carry our names and who have been settled in our areas for some time. So what they do is, whatever decision they make do not reflect the decision of the people on the ground. Take what Cardinal Tumi said. Cardinal Tumi said that 65% polling said that the people stood for independence, whereas the others, like other 6 people in a commission of 90 people or so, stood for federalism. So the issue here is, if we have to implement, even if it's the regionalism or the special status, there have not been enough work done to convince the people that within a specific time they're going to enjoy what they want. So all is frustrating, and all this is happening because people want to amass a lot of wealth for themselves. They are enjoying the buying of bullets, they are enjoying the traveling abroad, they are enjoying all these things, and they are enjoying the proceeds of the last days of this regime in order to enjoy as much as possible and save for themselves, rather than solving the problem of the majority of the Cameroonians. Because I think that if they continue in this trend, it will be hard for us to have a solution to this problem. Thank you.
In the meantime, administrative authorities killed other civilians, killed elements of the National Armed Forces, killed properties, destroyed, and so on. As a peace crusader, are you still optimistic of a return to peace and normalcy in the nearest future?
I am pessimistic. I seem to have been one of those who never give up. I seem to be one of those who love to say it as it is. I have earlier mentioned from the tone of my voice today that I am very pessimistic, as you could hear from the tone of my voice and from what I've enumerated to you, that we are not making any headway, and there seem to be no headway soon. And then there is one other development I wish to call the attention to the entire world, that the granting of the temporal protected status by the Biden administration, which is recognition of the fact that there is an Anglophone problem, and recognition of the fact that there has been marginalization, and recognition of the fact that people from the southern Cameroons or the English-speaking Cameroons have been considered endangered species that have to be protected by the United States government and the United Nations, is not good news for the Cameroon government. And it is not also good news for us, because that is that enhancement of brain drain. Brain drain in the sense that it's a continuation of enslavement of Cameroonians who are now going to be working to benefit the United States, not other than working to benefit their homeland. Those of us who have been experts in different dimensions and professionals now find a great discouragement of returning home, because we have to pick up residence permit and status to work to pay taxes to the US government and forget about our dreams of ever returning to the country, as well as those who are even left there fighting. If they throw the weapons away, or if they stop the fighting, they can migrate to the United States and they will enjoy the fruits of this, because whatever has happened has not benefited the Cameroon government. It is instead benefiting the United States of America and benefiting those who are scrambling. So the government needs to think twice and engage everyone who is talking about peace at this juncture, because it seems as if these are the last days of peace. Thank you.
Dr. Nicholas Santo, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mr. Babila Jonathan. Have a blessed day.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for this edition of the news on Equinoxe Television. In about 20 minutes, Serge Alonto and his guest will be in your homes with Equinoxe Soir. Stay with us.
Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte. De lundi à vendredi sur Equinoxe Télévision.
We are supposed to be thinking on how to carry the nation ahead. But look at it, we are talking about things that do not even have any capacity to add to Cameroon's progress. I mean what I'm saying. It doesn't have anything to contribute to the progress of this nation. So, I am ashamed that we are discussing this kind of thing. I am ashamed that our ministers can say what they say. I'm ashamed that we have administrators who do not think of how to progress the nation. They think on how to press on individuals.
Les alentours, je rappelle qu'on ne fait pas la pression à la justice camerounaise. La justice a son temps, elle fait son temps.
Donc c'est parce que le professeur Campton a parlé que...
Non, c'est le timing de la justice.
Ceux qui ne font que brandir la paix depuis le début et qui n'ont fait aucun mal à aucun citoyen, à moins qu'on ne nous prouve le contraire, ce sont les réactions barbares envers ces gens-là, qui n'ont fait de mal à personne, qui conduiront justement le pays vers une bagarre.
Je vois ici aujourd'hui que tout simplement nous voulons un changement au Cameroun. Ça ne se fera pas sans les jeunes, ça ne se fera pas sans les vieux. Parce que j'ai vu lors de la campagne des taux...
Ah, les vieux encore?
Mais bien sûr.
It's never been easier for Claudette Irere to catch the bus in Rwanda's capital. Cashless transactions are made using a prepaid bus ticket from Airclerk. The technology behind it was developed at K-Lab, an open IT workspace in Kigali. It's a hub for Rwanda's fledgling tech industry. More and more people in the capital are getting on board this digital revolution.
This is one really tangible example of success stories of K-Lab. Why? Because Patrick and his friends, they simply came up with a simple idea, but that is so efficient.
K-Lab's name is a mix